Hello, this is Extinction Rebellion Writers Rebel. We have an amazing programme for you tonight. 40 of the country's leading writers who will be speaking out about climate change and reading work about nature and the environment. We have an absolutely amazing programme for you.
I'm here tonight as a novelist, as a writer, as someone very concerned about the environment, because 3 years ago I read a book by the novelist Amitav Ghosh, in which he complained that literature was not rising to the occasion of the climate emergency, and he said it was a failure of the imagination. It made me very angry, not because he was wrong, because he was right. Well, tonight we are proving him wrong. We are rising to the occasion, and we have 40 fantastic writers to prove it, and from now on there will be no stopping us. Thank you.
Monique.
Hi, I'm here. I come from the Caribbean. As you all know, our hurricanes are getting bigger and badder, and very soon it's going to be too hot for us to stay there and live there. That's why I'm here. Thank you.
I am here to rewrite the future, and we can do that.
Society has to change in a very big way, and there's an amazing machine for doing that, and it's called a novel. And so that's why writers are really needed to solve this problem.
Hi, I'm Jessica Townsend. I'm here because about 3 years ago I was on a meditation retreat. I had never been into nature, and I suddenly started looking at this hawthorn bush, and it seemed to be the most beautiful thing that I had ever seen. The flowers articulated on the twigs articulated on the branches, and this was just a hedge at the corner of a field. And I realized we already live in Eden, and we're killing it.
I'm a Mexican writer based in London. In Mexico, there are constantly crimes of ecocide, and I think everyone has to be held accountable. And I also come as a member of a species that's destroying all the other species on the planet, and want to speak out on their behalf any moment.
We are very, very lucky to have with us Simon McBurney, one of the country's most acclaimed actors, a multi-Olivier Award-winning director, writer, and one of Europe's most original theatre makers. Simon McBurney, everybody.
Rebellion is at the root of science. Rebellion is at the root of science because it's the refusal to accept things as they are in the present. And poetry and science are intimately connected because they concern what is beyond the visible, what cannot yet be seen. So I'm going to introduce you some incredible writers this evening who are going to talk to you in many different ways. And the first one, many of you will know her. Her name is Margaret Atwood. In fact, she's in Canada, but she has sent this piece specifically for me to read. It's called Time Capsule, Found on the Dead Planet. In the first age, we created gods. We carved them out of wood. There was still such a thing as wood then. We forged them from shining metals, painted them on temple walls. They were gods of many kinds. Sometimes they were cruel and drank our blood, but they also gave us rain and sunshine, winds, good harvests, fertile animals, many children. 1,000,000 birds flew over us then, 1,000,000 fish swam in our seas. Our gods had horns on their heads or moons. We called them all-knowing, we called them Shining One. We smelled the earth and rolled in it. Its juices ran down our chins. In the Second Age, we created money. This money was also made of shining metals. It had two faces. On one side was a severed head, that of a king or some other noteworthy person. On the other face was something else. Something would give us comfort. A bird, a fish, a fur-bearing animal. This was all that remained of our former gods. The money was small in size, and each of us would carry some of it with him or her every day as close to the skin as possible. We could not eat this money, wear it, or burn it for warmth, but as if by magic it could be changed into such things. Mysterious, we were in awe of it. If you had enough of it, it was said, you would be able to fly. In the Third Age, money became a god. It was all-powerful and out of control. It began to talk. It began to create on its own. It created feasts and famines, songs of joy, lamentations. It created greed and hunger, which were its two faces. Towers of glass rose at its name, were destroyed and rose again. It began to eat things. It ate forests, croplands, the lives of children. It ate armies, ships, and cities. No one could stop it. To have it was a sign of grace. In the Fourth Age, we created deserts. Our deserts were of several kinds, but they had one thing in common. Nothing grew there. Some were made of cement, some of various poisons, some of baked earth. We made these deserts from the desire for more money and from despair at the lack of it. Wars, plagues, famines visited us, but we did not stop in our creation of deserts. At last, all wells were poisoned, all rivers ran with filth, all seas were dead. There was no land left to grow food. Some of our wise men turned to the contemplation of deserts. A stone in the desert in the setting sun could be very beautiful, they said. Deserts were tidy because there were no weeds in them, nothing that crawled. Stay in the desert long enough and you could apprehend the absolute. The number 0 was holy. You who have come here from some distant world to this dry lake shore and this cairn, and to this cylinder of brass, in which, on the last day of all our recorded days, I place our final words. Pray for us who once too thought we could fly. Thank you, Margaret Atwood.
Well, my name's Gregory Norminton. I'm one of the 40 writers who's been invited here to Trafalgar Square in this great big carnival of hope to read, maybe from our own work. I'm going to read something from mine, some poets as well, because, well, we've got every profession here. We've got doctors, and we've got nurses, and we've got vicars, and we've got retired police officers, and so we're just here in our own professional capacities as storytellers. But the stories that we've been telling ourselves for years haven't really served us very well. So collectively we're part of a global effort to try and think of narratives that are more healthy, that are happier than the ones we have that are destroying our world now. So I'm going to do my little bit as a not very well-known writer amongst some very well-known writers, just to try and join the conversation.
My name is A.L. Kennedy. I write as A.L. Kennedy. My name's Alison Kennedy, and I'm here as part of the Writers' Rebel thing. I think it's about 40 British writers. Lots of people want to be here but can't be here, but we're all, you know, saying that we want to make words that will help people realise that they have to take action.
I'm Naomi Alderman, I'm the author of The Power. I'm here at Extinction Rebellion because this seems to me to be the most critical issue facing the whole human race right now. We're distracting ourselves with all sorts of political nonsense whilst the planet is burning. So I'm here because this seems to me the most important thing I can possibly do with my time.
My name's Philip Hoare, I'm a writer. I write about the sea, I'm passionate about the sea. We're a long way from the sea here, but we had a whale swim up the Thames this week. I was talking about whales today. I've written about whales. They are the love of my life, and I fear that we have done bad things to them, but we've done good things too. It's really nice to see this square full of people who think in the same way. We all think in the same way. We're good people. Human beings are good people, and we're here to prove that. It's about love, isn't it? It's about love. That's what it's about.
The police can take what they want, but we're still all connected, and the police, we're all connected with them as well. So let's remember our non-violence.
Acknowledging our feelings to ourselves, to one another, makes us more robust. We need to mourn and to organise. There should be no contest. We know from conventional political struggles that the less we understand emotionally, the more our potential victories will lead us to missteps and a weakening of our legitimate concerns. When setbacks and external manipulations occur, which they inevitably will, there can be a pull to manage difficult feelings by collapsing into sectarianism. We can find ourselves projecting our frustrations, our fury, our disappointments at the slowness of change onto those who we mostly agree with, rather than those who are endangering justice. We need to work in broad coalitions where differences can be tolerated rather than fracturing effective political actions. This doesn't mean weakening our positions. We need to find ways to encompass the range of progressive activities while speaking to people's emotional upset as well as their hopes.